Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. We also, Kaizer Chiefs lost to Supersport United, and I said yesterday that, during my preview, that this is the one game we were not supposed to lose, and we lost this game. And yeah, it's terrible because of how many chances we missed, and it feels like the problems of last season have come. Let me first say this before I get into the Chiefs analysis of the game. At least we got Mthethwa. We all wanted Mthethwa. Mthethwa has now finally been signed by Kaizer Chiefs. We are happy. Well done to management. Management will applaud you when you do things right. Well done on getting us Usbongsen Mthethwa. And it seems like Mashiani wasn't part of the deal, unless they'll give us more details later. And Usbongsen Mthethwa actually arrived in Joburg this afternoon. I'm not sure if he did his medicals today or we'll do it tomorrow morning. But Msombongsen Mthethwa will be announced by Kaizer Chiefs tomorrow morning. Okay, to the game. Guys, it was disappointing. All the chances that we missed today. We missed so many chances. Today we were meant to beat Supersport like 3-0, 3-1, whatever. And the sad part about this game is that the goal we conceded was our mistake in the first minute. And what does this remind you of? This reminds you of last season. Last season, what happened? These were the kind of goals we conceded. Where Abomatlo passed to a Supersport striker and then they give them a tap in. This is what happened last season. Last season, we were crying about this exact problem where our players make mistakes that basically give opposition tap-ins. You even saw Uitumele Nkune going and almost basically giving a Supersport a tap in, but then the Supersport player decided to slip when he took the shot. But yeah, one thing I think as us as Kaizer Chiefs fans have to come to terms with, especially those people who have been crying for Itumeleng Nkune's time as a Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper is finished. I watched Kune today. He was struggling to make saves. He was struggling to just trap the ball. He was just struggling. Today, Supersport didn't threaten us that much, but Ukune just looked like old age has caught up to him. He looks very old. He looks, keepers are meant to age better in terms of being keepers than players in the field. But Gune, I won't lie, guys. He too looks old, guys. He looks out of touch. He doesn't look like he should be playing for Kaizer Chiefs right now. So anyone who had questions of why E2 hasn't been selected for Chiefs, well, this you saw it for yourself. Guti, he's teka. But yeah, guys, Gonzalez, today I got to see Gonzalez properly. The guy plays well. The guy does good movements. The guy does everything well. Yeah, it's just the finishing, man. The finishing. Like the one chance that he really had to actually, there's one chance that he should have scored. It was the tap in where they hit it across goal, but he didn't get his feet right. So if you watch that goal, he dived way too soon, and when he dived too soon, it made him he's made his slide slower. What he was meant to do is dive late, if sliding late for that challenge, and he dived too early, and him diving too early, it shows desperation. So then the ball went, he got to his slide basically was late, but he could have that chance, he could have got. Like, no one must lie to you and say, hey, what? The ball was weighted well. He's the one who got his feet wrong, if you watch that chance. And then the one shot at the end where he could have passed Modi. But yeah, I don't blame him for that one shot that he took at the end. But this is my issue with Umulifi Ntseki. Look, we play, and okay, before I get to my issue with Umulifi Ntseki, I want to say this, guys. Chiefs, it's sad to be a Kaizer Chiefs fan. When we play the football we want to see from our team, because today we played beautiful football. Beautiful football. The ball was moving. We were in control of the game, even in the middle of the field. But it's said that when we play good football, it doesn't end in goals. But when we play nonsense football, it ends in goals. So I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Why when we play, even last year with Others One would play such good football, and the football was good and everything was good. And they would lose the games because the defenders made mistakes. But then when we're playing good football, we don't score. But the day after one, I was like, okay, this thing of playing good football is not working. Let me change my system and be more direct. Then we start scoring when we are more direct. Then I don't and the thing is that what will surprise you is that when we play more direct, we don't have a lot of chances, but we score goals. But when we play good football, we have so many chances, but we can't score. So I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand. This is why I keep saying we need a striker coach in our team. In our team, there has to be a striker coach without a shadow of a doubt. No matter who says what, there has to be a striker coach. There were so many missed chances today. It was terrible. And this is where I blame Molefe. Where I blame Molefe today is his substitutions. He made a mistake. His substitutions were late and his substitutions were not good. Why do I say substitutions were late and not good? Where was Mkhonza going? Where was Mkhonza going? The moment when we were pressing Supersport in the box, we saw Guti, we were doing crosses and we were making crosses in the box, and we had Castillo and Gonzalez contesting for those things. So my thing was like, remove Mthethwa, because Mthethwa is not doing anything now in the field. What's happening is that Matt and Castillo, etc., are getting the ball and pumping the ball into the box, and even Dupree is putting in the crosses, and the crosses were good. So I'm like, why not take out Mthethwa and put in Ranga? Don't take out Gonzalez, because when you take out Gonzalez, you're taking out the aerial threat, because we were playing a lot of crosses. So I'm like, when you put in Ranga for Mthethwa, don't bring in Mkhonza, because Mkhonza did not add anything to the game, and I knew he was not going to add anything to the game. How did I know Mkhonza was not going to add anything to the game? Because the game was, as at that point, Supersport was dropping low and we were hitting crosses, and when we were hitting crosses, so many of our players got exposed. Because why do I say so many of our players got exposed? Quinika can't cross the ball. Quinika cannot cross the ball, and he was exposed even though he had a good game, but his final ball was bad. And like, there's so many chances that, you know what, in the dying minutes, Sundowns played us exactly this way. When Sundowns scored against the M108, they brought a player who could cross the ball, and then they brought in players who can header the ball. So why did we take out the player who can header the ball and put in a player? We took out Gonzalez, who can header. We put Ranga, who can header. But then we took out Mthethwa, who can header. And we put in Mkhonza, who can't header. Mkhonza was not meant to play in this game. This game was not about finding someone who can, like, be smart. This game was about going wide, touch, going wide, knocking it in, touch, and getting someone to compete, to support Gonzalez, to fight with Abo Tlachayo and all of those guys, those tall guys, because Gonzalez was struggling alone, because they were tag teaming him. When Gonzalez would go, it was either Tulani Tlachayo or that other Nigerian boy, or now he's South African, but yeah, he's a Nigerian father, or Okono, or something like that. Okono and Tlachayo used to were double teaming Gonzalez. So Gonzalez, and then what happens is that Castillo would come to support Gonzalez. But imagine if we added Ranga. Then we have Ranga, Castillo, Gonzalez trying to compete for headers, because Mthethwa can header. He struggled. So I was disappointed with this. The one mistake they made, especially, he was Molefe in the 70th minute was meant to bring on Ranga for Mthethwa. And then we keep playing and pumping the ball, because at that point Supersport had was dropping, and they were only gonna play counters. But on top of that, the players that they were doing counters with were players who aren't really like threatening, like Bezadenhout. The only one was Jugamanja, but Jugamanja was very far back, so you couldn't really do anything. So I'll say this. It was a good game to watch from Kaizer Chiefs. We performed well, we played well. Everything about this game was good to watch from a Kaizer Chiefs point of view. We actually felt like we could score in this game. But now when the game has ended, you realize, Guti, even if we played another 30 minutes, we were not gonna score. Because the moment they took out Gonzalez, is the moment Chiefs lost the game, because Gonzalez was not meant to leave. Gonzalez was meant to stay and partner him up with Ranga. Ranga was meant to come, because at that point it wasn't about speed. Speed wasn't helping us, because Supersport was dropping and giving and letting us have the ball, meaning that we just had to pump the ball into the box and find the players who can head. So I feel like that's where we lost the game. Like, a coach needs to make important decisions at those moments. But anyway, let me just give a high level of players. Castillo did fine, but there's so many missed passes he made. But yeah, I can't say much. Dupree played well. Dupree always plays well. He put so many crosses in and stuff. But anyway, it didn't work out in the end. Saile did well in different parts of the game. It's just that the Chiefs hasn't trained Saile properly to use his pace, because you can see Saile is not fast to take off, but is fast when he's in rhythm. But Saile is always standing. So if he's always just standing in one position and he's slow to take off, when you're slow to take off, the defender will always get to the ball first, even if you're fast. So what does that mean? It means that Sahile needs to start making movements before he gets past. He needs to start running off the ball. He needs to bend his runs. He needs to bend his runs. And by the time the ball is passed, he's already moving, because that's his issue. His issue is that whenever the ball is passed, he's in a standing position, and then he wants to accelerate, but he's not quick off the mark. He is only quick when he's in rhythm. So yeah, it's like, the best way I can describe it is, whoever has watched Usain Bolt run, Usain Bolt running, when the race starts, Usain was never in front, because there were people who could start running faster than, like, to take off, they were faster. So Usain Bolt was never in front. But the thing is that once he was in rhythm, he would leave you with a gap. But now in soccer, there's no time for you to get in rhythm, especially if the distance between you and the poles sometimes is very small. It means that you need to already be in rhythm by the time the ball is passed, if you are going to utilize your pace. So that's one thing. And I always say this. I'm like, whoever wants to understand what getting in rhythm is, I wish you could go and watch highlights of Richard Henyekani when he was at Golden Arrows and Sundowns, etc. Richard Henyekani would start running at full pace, not with the last defender. He would run meters before. He would already be in rhythm meters before he gets to the last defender. Because by the time he gets to the last defender and the pass happens, he is gone. He is gone, and that is what Castillo is missing in his game. He has pace, but he wants to use his pace, but he doesn't have good acceleration. I don't know if there can be a physical coach who can teach him how to accelerate better. They shorten your steps and stuff like that. Those are the things that they usually teach people to accelerate better. But that's Saile's problem, sorry if I keep mixing it up. But yeah, guys, that is the game. The game, we played better. I won't lie. We actually outplayed Supersport, if we have to be honest. We outplayed Supersport, but outplaying a team and still losing is a problem, which is why today I have a bitter taste in my mouth. Like, it's like, in the past two games, we did not win games we were supposed to win. And the games that we did win in the other games, we were not supposed to win those games. So it's like opposite. It's like when things are starting to look well, like we're playing proper football, we lose or we draw. But when we're playing nonsense football, we win. So it's like, are we as Chiefs fans, are we meant to accept that the only way we can win is to play nonsense? And then we win? Because when we play good football, we lose. It's even worrying for me because it's like now when we play Sundowns this weekend, it means we can't play good football. Because when we play good football, we lose. So we must play nonsense football to win. Hey, it's very conflicting, guys. It's very conflicting. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this game. We should have won. The last two games we played, we should have won. I don't understand.